Hey, what's going on, guys? This is the Jawas and Java podcast, episode 3. We're going to jump right into it. You know what we're here to talk about today? It's the finale of The Mandalorian. My name is Mike. This is my brother, Stefan. We've got a lot to talk about. The first thing that I could say that I felt when I watched that episode or when the episode ended is traumatized.
Yeah.
Absolutely traumatized.
It was
As you can see, I'm exhausted. I had a couple hours of sleep. We watched it at 3 a.m. and we wanted to jump right on here so we could speak about it. Me and my brother, we usually watch the episode together. This is like one of the few episodes we didn't watch together and we didn't talk about. We pretty much just left it so that we could have the conversation right now. So,
yeah, I don't even know. I'm not even sure what bullet point you start at. I mean, I don't know. Do we start with the bombs, or do we start with just from the beginning and move on?
all right, let
I
me.
don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't. My
So all
it's
I
too much
wanted.
for a brain.
All I want to do is talk about the end or talk about the second half of the show, but I'm going to start off
Yeah,
at the
yeah.
beginning. And the first thing I'm going to say, and also let everybody know that we're, besides Star Wars fans, me and Stefan are really big wrestling fans.
Oh yeah.
And I was actually very shocked to see Sasha Banks back in the episode. I remember watching it, and when she popped back in, I was very shocked. And I wanted to text you right away and be like, "Oh my God, she's back!" Because we actually had a conversation where I know I read it somewhere. I forget. I think it was actually an interview that Sasha did, and it could have been to throw everybody off. But I remember her saying that her character for now in the season, that was her last episode.
Yeah,
With
her and I think her and John Carlo did a little bit of like a little bit of a twist and turn with their interviews, because she said very specifically, I am not in the remainder of the season. And John Carlo said, you'll see a lot more of me in season 3. And we know where he left off. We know that if it continues down this road, he may not be in season 3 whatsoever, going off of that. So yeah, I think we got finagled a little bit going by these interviews and saying, oh, I wish they were a little bit less, open about these things, because they definitely threw us off. I definitely popped when they showed Sasha Banks again, and obviously Bo-Katan. That was really exciting. I said last episode how I'm kind of always on the waiting for Bo-Katan to pop back in, but I definitely didn't expect Sasha to be there. That was really exciting. That whole scene, the back and forth between Bo and Boba, and Sasha getting involved and doing some of her wrestling stuff. And one of my favorite quotes from the episode was when Bo replied to, this was my father's armor, and she says, oh, you mean your donor? I thought that was a really, really, deep, slick move right there by Bo. And I think that really got to him a little bit. I've heard your voice 1,000 times. That was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we talked the last episode about how we thought Bo was going to come back, and also another thing that I want to point out is that Disney Plus at the beginning of the episode gives you a
Yeah.
sneak peek into the episode, which I always tell myself I want to skip it, but I never do.
Me
So at
too.
the
I
beginning
can't
of the
bring myself to do it. I feel like it's part of the episode,
and,
so I can't bring myself to skip it.
before the episode started, my last text to you was, if they show Bo in the opening flashback, the prior to in the season, if they show Bo and if they show Ahsoka mentioning Thrawn, I think we'll see Thrawn,
Yeah.
because that gives you like a foreshadowing. Every episode so far this season had that. So once I saw Bo in the opening sequence, I knew that she was going to be in the episode. but still, it didn't matter. That
No,
episode
of
was so
course, of
heavy.
course. Yeah,
Like
no, no, I agree with you.
Bo was like an expected situation, and what else happened in that episode was something that I could have never, ever, ever, ever fathomed in my entire life. I'm still on a high from that episode.
Me too.
I'm emotionally drained. Realistically, I'm speechless, so I'm trying to force out all my thoughts because there's just so much.
Yeah,
It was, if you're a Star Wars fan, if you didn't cry during that episode or have tears in your eyes or feel
yeah.
choked up, I don't even know. I don't know what will get you feeling like that
Yeah,
because
it was all a really, really intense ride too. Because now, like even right after they recruit Bo and all that phenomenal, intense back and forths, then they go into Gideon's ship. The Dark Troopers were absolutely out of this world. I mean, the music, that hard electric music they were playing when showing the troopers was so unique. The first thing I thought of,
it was like a
wow,
dubstep. It was like a like the
yeah,
scene in Deadpool when they have the, that like the fight scene, and then you start hearing
yeah,
like
yeah,
that
yeah,
techno
yeah.
type music.
Yeah, yeah, it was really crazy that they went that route. Really
Yeah.
intense. Those are some of the coolest droids without a doubt that they have right now. They were incredible. Really, really cool.
The
Really
music
tough,
the
man.
music in the episode was very, I mean, there were some, but it was very un-Star Wars like music.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
more like Disney's Marvel type music and stuff. And you said yesterday, I believe the episode was directed by the Ant-Man director again,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
So
Mhm.
so he probably had a big, influence on the style of the of the episode and the style of the music and the
Yeah,
fight scenes especially.
yeah,
So
they go right in that scene. It goes right from that electric, intense music showing the Dark Troopers into Din's music as he's
yeah,
walking down the ramp, and that transition was so good. I ate that up. I thought it was amazing.
and I think, I don't know if you noticed, but right now I can't wait to rewatch it because there's going to be a lot more that I could really dive into. But I
Mhm.
remember noticing that the music at the intro of the episode, when the Mandalorian chapter, when that pops up on the
Mhm.
screen, the music wasn't the same Mandalorian theme song as it usually is. It was
Oh
almost like a
yeah, I
little,
didn't even catch
yeah,
that.
it was like a little bit of a mix, or maybe like a different part of the song that you don't usually hear because it's not
Yeah,
like
right.
that cut music for the
Oh, okay.
opening
Yeah,
of
I
the.
didn't catch that. Yeah, I
Yeah,
gotta check that out.
I believe so. I mean, I remember stopping and thinking that it was a little different, and it kind of set a different tone for the episode. There was a lot of things in this episode, even like at the end when the scrolls went down. It wasn't your typical scrolls with the images, the concept art in the back. It was
Oh yeah,
very like,
absolutely nothing was typical about this
no,
episode. This was
it
craziness.
didn't even have the same feel.
No,
It had
nothing about it. And what shocked me is it kind of felt like, which I mean, technically, I mean, we're gonna get into this further, but after the after credit scene, it felt like a series finale. It felt like a big
it felt like a
climax.
motion picture ending of a
Right, like
movie. It felt like
exactly,
the end of a
exactly.
trilogy.
Yeah, it didn't. So you have Grogu go with Luke. His story ends. Din coming to terms with that, giving him away, taking his helmet off. Moff Gideon is captured, and the bad guy lost. It really, really felt very series finale climactic the whole time, which is why it kind of made sense to me then after credit scene, which obviously I wasn't expecting.
No, I rem-
If my brain wasn't so melted at the moment, I could have easily have shut the TV off and
no,
went to
well,
bed, but I was sitting on the couch
the
trying to
only
process.
thing, the only thing that I said to you after the episode ended was, because I wasn't planning on talking to you at all, because we said we were going right to sleep. I texted you and I said, after, in all caps, after credit scene, because I
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
knew
yeah, yeah,
that after a few times of that going down, because and another thing that was very, very, very Marvel like, Disney Marvel
for sure.
esque. The way that after credit scene was, it was equivalent to all the,
And it's the same way.
that
It's the
heavy
same
hitting
way.
Marvel
Yeah.
after credit scenes.
And the way they do it with the Marvel after credit scenes too is it usually is a snippet into the next
Yeah.
movie. This was a snippet into the next season, which I don't know. I'm guessing that's so much to take in too. That whole after credit scene was so much to take in.
Let's
But what
get, we got it.
shocked me is,
We got to
oh,
wait for the
okay.
after credit scene. Wait for the end for the after credit scene, because I can't even handle the after credit scene because we didn't
Yeah,
even get
yeah,
to the
yeah.
end of the show yet. So I can't get the take because I know what you're gonna say and I can't handle it. So
Yeah, no, I don't know. I mean, listen, I guess we'll get right into this too. I mean, the X-wing showing up. So I immediately knew that we were in like a desperate need of help when the Dark Troopers were slamming down the door, and we knew and they knew they couldn't handle it.
every time it was a punch to the door, shaking of the ship, and then it cut to the guy, like the whole crew in the front. Then you would get
Yeah.
a punch to the door, and every time that punch happened, my anxiety went up, up, up until and in my mind I'm like, a Jedi is coming, obviously.
Yeah, it was the only thing. Yeah, someone
Like
someone needed to pop in and save them pretty much.
a Jedi was coming, obviously. Every time you heard that punch on the door, you knew that something big was happening. And
Yeah, I came to terms with the fact that like I was like, okay, someone has to come and save the day. And then the X-wing showed up, and obviously my mind went directly to Luke, but I wasn't committed to, oh, this is 100% Luke. I still had to wait to see how this
I
played out because
I
we didn't know. Go
I
ahead.
wasn't committed. I wasn't committed to Luke showing up until the hood came off of Luke. We saw Luke's robe, Luke with the glove on his hand. We saw a
Yeah,
green lightsaber. We saw a
yeah.
Luke-esque. It was a mirror image of Darth Vader in Rogue One.
Yes,
A
I
mirror
was one. I was
image,
going to make that point too.
which is one of my favorite scenes in Star Wars
Me too.
because of how impactful that is. Because
Yep.
they couldn't back in the day when they made these movies, we couldn't get Darth Vader like that. They didn't have they didn't have that vision. They didn't have the technology to have Darth Vader the way that Darth Vader should have been portrayed. So when we
Yeah.
got Darth Vader in that aspect, it was mind blowing, and we never got Luke really.
No,
In an
of
aspect
course
of that,
not. No, no, of
the
course
fighting
not.
style was very boom, 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 and we
He
always
can't
wanted to see them
use the
terrorize
force.
the evil or the good guys.
He basically used the force and literally crushed
A,
a dark trooper. And that was my favorite part of it because that was the last one he took out. The last dark trooper he took out was
oh
not with
my
a
god!
lightsaber. He used the force and he turned him into tinfoil. It
No,
was incredible.
he crumbled him. And this was a
Yeah,
guy who Beskar was bouncing off of him. Flamethrowers were going through him. Nothing
yeah,
was stopping them. Nothing could have
yeah. And
stopped them.
Luke ran through them like it was nothing.
Nothing could have stopped the Dark Troopers but a Jedi.
Yeah. And I don't know. I don't even know where to transition from this, but I do want to mention the fact that because this also goes back to a little bit, we did speak about Luke in the last episode. The fact that it was a de-aged CGI Mark Hamill was really, really crazy.
See, I didn't want a recast of Luke for the
Me
in the
neither.
worst
Me neither.
way.
I was
And
ecstatic.
I know that they did the de-aged CGI with Princess Leia and the moment was amazing. And of course CGI is not going to be perfect, but it's going to look really good. And it doesn't matter. Like Leia and Luke, like that's just you felt like it was Luke
Yeah, a hundred
Skywalker.
percent, 100%. When I saw the name Mark Hamill go
Oh my
down
God.
on the credits, my heart dropped into my stomach because after watching that, I was like, "What the hell did I just watch?" You know
Oh,
what
me
I'm
too.
saying?
Me
Because I was
too.
like, "What exactly did they just do? Was
I
that
still don't believe it.
CGI with somebody voicing? Was that
I
Hamill? Was that
I thought
somebody
it
who
was
looked like
Sebastian Stan.
Hamill?"
I thought they took Sebastian Stan and they CGI'd his face because when he had the robe
Yeah, I
over
mean,
his
that's how much
face,
they look alike, though. Maybe
I
they did
agree.
do
I
that.
agree.
Who knows? Maybe there
I
was a little bit of that.
I waited.
Maybe they did that with intent to,
Well,
to come back. We don't know.
I waited for the scroll to come down and to see Sebastian Stan's name. Unless they did use him and they didn't give him any credit because and they gave Mark Hamill the credit, which I don't know how much of Mark Hamill. I know they
Either
used his likeness, but I don't know if it was his voice because Mark Hamill's voice. I mean, he is a voice actor, but over the years, Mark Hamill's voice has become
yeah.
very, stern and older sounding. It's
Well,
not.
he didn't speak much. I noticed that too.
Yeah,
I
he didn't,
noticed that
but he
they
did
kind of
speak.
kept Luke.
He didn't need to speak.
They kept Luke to the absolute minimum.
Yeah,
Like his screen time,
which is
his
what they had to
voice,
do.
his yeah, no, no, I loved it. I thought it was perfect.
No, yeah, I
I
know.
really do. nothing I would have changed about that. I really thought that that was absolutely ideal, where we get this Luke Skywalker version of Vader in Rogue One, which is a pipe dream. No, I wasn't expecting that. And it was de-aged CGI Mark Hamill. It wasn't recasted. It was him. It was still Mark Hamill. It was still our Skywalker. I thought that was absolutely perfect. And if that comes with a cost, which and the cost is that they kind of have to keep him off the screen deliberately. They have to keep his dialogue to a minimum. I'm down for that. I'm down for
Well,
that version versus a recast and it being him still, even if it was a little botchy and stuff like that here and
th-
there.
there was no way for you. I mean, I don't know. I don't know about the technology that they have or how expensive the technology is or how believable it is. But I like when I saw Princess Leia in that scene. We saw Princess Leia in that scene, and we knew what came next. We knew we weren't getting more of that scene. Like we already got more of that scene. So I
Yeah.
accepted any mini little flaw that could have been in the CGI because we got Princess Leia. So I can't think of a flaw because I didn't look for one. We got
Yeah.
young Princess Leia. I remember the feeling that I felt yesterday. I felt when I saw young Princess Leia at the end of Rogue One, and I was like, I can't believe what I'm seeing right now. So seeing Mark Hamill or Luke Skywalker CGI'd, I knew that they couldn't. The reason why I didn't think we were going to get Luke is because I didn't want the recast, and I didn't think that they can portray Luke in season 3 or whatever the situation. It would have
Yeah.
to be a really quick scene, but I didn't
Yeah.
have this in mind. I never
No way.
no one
No
could have
way.
imagined this
There's
would
no
have
way.
been the way
There's no
we saw.
way. Yeah. There's no way I would have. There's no way I would have assumed that scene, which was him just mowing down all those dark sabers. How about um, how about R2 and Grogu having a scene together? That was absurd. That was
Art
absolutely
when art
absurd.
I was bawling like a baby. I really don't care. I was sitting I was I was by myself on the couch. I was watching the episode and for 15-20 minutes I was bawling like a baby. My heart was racing.
Oh yeah, it was rough.
I'm like this morning waking up I was like what did I just go through last
Yeah.
night? Like I could not believe it. From the moment that everything that was going on was amazing from the moment the X-wing flew into it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when
Yeah.
Cara Dune says, "Oh, great, one X-wing," like
Yeah.
we're
Yeah.
screwed.
Yeah.
Or what about the fact? Wait a second. Something that blew my mind is that Moff Gideon tried to kill himself.
Yo, that was
He tried to
wild.
he put a gun to his neck, and we almost witnessed Moff Gideon killing himself if they didn't
My heart
react so quick.
stopped.
But Moff Gideon tried to kill himself who's one of the most confident guys I've ever seen in Star Wars. This guy was
Yeah.
on the floor tied up with assassins around him.
Yeah.
And he's like, at the end of this, the only people who are going to be alive is me and the child. And the lightsaber ignites. He's cutting through Dark Troopers, and Moff Gideon grabs a blaster and puts it to his chin. So the scene, Moff Gideon trying to kill himself because he was that terrified of the Jedi was
Yeah.
absolutely mind blowing. And our producer Andrew just let me know. I guess I haven't been able to do a lot of research this morning because I'm still half asleep. But
And the episode was only a couple hours ago. We're gonna be getting
yeah,
our theories
uh,
debunked as the day goes on. We're
yeah.
gonna be
So
this is
our
all
producer
fresh.
Andrew just sent me a message that Max Lloyd Jones was the person that was behind Luke Skywalker's CGI. So he was the actor, I guess, model for the
Yeah,
CGI'd Luke Skywalker, which is really cool because, like I said, we were
that's
just
really
talking about how
exciting. Yeah.
Sebastian Stan, it looked just like him. But they could have mushed those two people together to form Sebastian Stan for the future. I don't know because it really still did look
Yeah,
like
I know.
it looked like Sebastian Stan. But
Yeah. Nah,
uh,
it's insane. And I can't believe, like I said, that episode was just so climactic, which I wasn't ready for. I just wasn't I was so beyond not ready for me to feel like the series was
wait,
over, kind
what
of.
what about so because I can't stop talking about this scene and I'll watch it. I'm gonna watch it 100 times in the next year until whatever we get next. But what about Grogu touching the screen while like he's
No,
connected, like he know, like he's almost
no.
like connected with Luke, saying almost and then Din saying no, let him in, and they're like, are you crazy? Because they don't know
Yeah.
Jedi, they don't trust Jedi, they don't know
No,
what
no,
this
no.
guy's doing here. Who that guy could be coming there to kill everybody on the ship. They have no idea what's going on, but Din trusts Grogu because Grogu's his child,
Yeah,
and
no, of
he
course.
and Grogu's standing there with his hand on it. He's connecting with Luke, like almost like he's here to save us. Like he reached out to him again, and and then he opens the trap door, the doors, and
Yeah.
I
I mean,
was not ready for it.
I'll double down on that too, because a scene that was similar to that shook me to the core was Grogu saying goodbye, touching Din's mask before he takes
The
it off.
face. What about when he took it
The
off?
final
What about
scene.
when he looks up? He looked up and it touches the mask and we knew what was coming, and like I was already bawling and choked up from a Luke Skywalker that we saw.
Me too. Yeah.
So after that, it was just it. Like now
Yeah. Yeah.
I
And
could not
you
have been
know,
prepared for that.
I just thought of this now as you said it because you just said, "Oh, nobody knows about the Jedi and Luke Skywalker," but like Bo does, and Bo knows
Yeah,
Anakin, and
true.
Ahsoka was Anakin's Padawan.
Yeah.
So now this also brings are Ahsoka and Luke gonna cross paths? You know what I mean?
Did Ahsoka know that Luke was gonna reach out? We have no idea.
No, she said she had no
I know,
idea.
I know, I know,
She said that there's not many Jedi left. Who
I
knows
know.
what she knows? She doesn't know
Yeah.
anything. She doesn't know about this school that Luke is running right now. You know what I mean? It's
Well,
crazy.
once you said that, all I can think about is what happens to Grogu at the school.
Well, I
Oh,
actually
we.
was thinking about that a lot. And because I'm seeing a lot of people on like Twitter and stuff saying like, oh, like Grogu's screwed, obviously.
I don't think
But
he's screwed, but
my mental state was that Grogu is 50 years old and has prior Jedi training. So it's possible for Grogu to not be at that Jedi school for when Ben Solo, you know, kills everybody and lights it on fire and all that stuff.
yeah,
I
no,
do think
anything's
it's possible.
possible.
I think there's a lot of loopholes around this being it for Grogu, and
Uh,
Grogu's going to go off and get killed by Ben Solo. I think that there's like it wouldn't make sense. He's not picking this up. Like we've seen Grogu wield the Force for 2 seasons. He's not, and I I bring this up all the time that Yoda was a Jedi master at 100 years old. Grogu's 50. So Grogu's got to take a big leap. I'm not saying Jedi master, but
no, I
he
mean
has to be
it's only a few.
functioning
It's
Jedi.
not 50
Yeah,
years before Ben
yeah.
is grown, so it's only
So it's if this takes place what about 20 plus years before Rey and them, he would be a very established Jedi, I'm assuming, in his 70s. Maybe not the rank of master, but he would definitely be an established Jedi. So my point being is that like he may not still be at Luke's school or anything like that. Like there's a lot of ways to twist and turn it. He
I
could have
mean,
survived it.
one thing I have to say is Bo, just take the dark saber.
I
Cut the
know, right?
shit. Just
But you
take the
know what?
dark saber. Come on, just take it. This guy has literally lost everything. Just take the dark saber. Kick him on, knock him down, and take it. Come on,
Yeah, it's
I
like
don't
an
want to see
honor
those
thing.
guys fighting.
But yeah, right now, like now, like we're gonna have to turn on each other, or I'm hoping that like Bo chalks it up, and Bo is like,
After
okay,
what you just saw
like we can restore Mandalore
together.
without me holding this dark saber.
He
You know
doesn't.
what
Well,
I'm
he doesn't.
saying?
But he doesn't want the dark saber. I
Not at
mean,
all, not at all. But he has it, and I'm really, really pumped about that. And I'm hoping that Bo comes around and Bo's like, you know what, we don't. I don't need that. You know what I mean? I need Mandalore. I need to restore that. That's priority, not this weapon. You know what I mean? I'm hoping that happens because I don't want them. I don't want that internal battle. But I do want Din to have the dark saber. I would have liked to have seen some action with that, but I think we'll get it, and it's going to be
just
awesome.
so
I'm curious
after
to see. I'm curious to see how Gideon got it from her. That means does that mean that Gideon defeated her in battle, or was Gideon
he
being the
had to.
slime ball that he is? He easily could have. He easily would steal the dark saber without an ounce of honor.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
and that could be why she's so like she's
Yeah,
going back for the
exactly, 100%.
and
And
that's why
not like
he
mopey about it.
yeah, well and that's why he was almost like antagonizing her and laughing because he probably knows her values and
Yeah.
that she sticks to her values. That's why once uh Din walked out with the dark saber and you could see her face, and Moff was laughing and like, like pretty much
Yeah.
narrating what was going on in Bo's head.
Yeah. The most anxiety I had during the episode was watching Gideon say, "Oh yeah, like take the child and we'll all just like part ways,"
Oh my God. I
knowing
was so confused.
knowing he wasn't gonna live up to that.
No, but I didn't know what was
He was gonna
coming.
take a swipe at Grogu, and
I
that's what I
know.
was worried about. I was like, if this is Grogu's death scene, I am going because I knew that wasn't gonna happen. And I knew Din wasn't walking out of there with Grogu, and Gideon was just going the other way. But back to that now. Now this just popped in my head. Gideon said we got what we needed from Grogu.
True.
So Gideon and the
Which is
Empire do
true.
not need Gideon anymore. Not Gideon. Gideon and the Empire don't
Grogu.
need Grogu anymore, and they got what they needed, which might be what they need to clone and get Palpatine back and Snoke and that whole sequel trilogy storyline.
100%.
So that
That's
so
what it
that
is.
might be nipped in the bud in terms of the Empire hunting them. So next time we see Grogu and Din, it might be a completely different
Well,
storyline
then
in terms of restoring Mandalore and all that stuff.
I don't think they're going back after Grogu from unless they go to the Jedi Temple and try to get Grogu. But I don't think that's.
Bro, I don't even know if we get what. Okay, let's go into the after credit scene now. The next season, what I took from that after credit scene was season 3 of The Mandalorian is chapter 1 of Boba Fett's story.
Yeah,
That's what I took from
me
that
too.
that last that after credit scene. So with that being said, we might not see Din and Grogu anytime soon.
All right, so let's
There
go
could be
back. Let's go back to the beginning of the after credit scene and just talk. First of all, before we talk about what's coming next, let's talk about that after credit
That
scene.
was insanity. That was insanity.
Yeah, so
Tatooine. Oh
Fennec
my
walks
god.
in. They're in Tatooine. They're in Jabba's palace, and we don't know what the hell is going on in Jabba's palace anymore. We don't know who's
Oh, of
running the
course not.
show.
No, we just know that like he's not around basically. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course, but we and they walk they walk in taking people out. It's a Gamorrean guard or however you say it, and in the front, and they're just taking everybody out as they walk in. And you see Fennec walk down, and obviously Boba's going to follow, and Boba's history with Jabba's palace and Jabba the Hutt, and you see like his silhouette
Bib
walking down the stairs.
Fortuna on the
Oh,
throne. So Bib was on the throne that was Jabba's, and now Boba is on that
wait, but
throne.
what about the fact that he really let himself go and looks like shit?
Who, Fortuna?
Yeah, like
No, I thought
did
he
you
looked fantastic. I
did
can't. I
I don't know, like Jabba
no,
obviously was a hut and he was a big slime ball, but like
so
he
there was
gained
a
a lot
point
of
in
weight.
time
Did you
where
see how
Bib
much weight he
Fortuna
gained?
looked good. But Bib Fortuna was exercising and taking care of himself at one point.
Yeah.
Bib
But
Fortuna let himself
wait,
go.
but if
Be the
every
title
okay,
of this
all
episode.
right, but everyone's complaining about Boba Fett got a little bit of a belly. Boba Fett's been through hell.
Boba Fett's a dad bod
He,
god.
yeah, he's slaying people left and right.
That that scene,
He's
that
uh,
scene of Boba
uh,
sitting on that throne with Fennec to the right of him was incredible. And it got me so excited for season 3 because obviously I have my opinions where I'm not thrilled. Like I want Grogu next Thursday. I want
I
Din next
know.
Thursday. So at first I was like, oh my God, I'm not ready. I'm not ready for this. I want Grogu nonstop. I want all of him constantly in Star Wars now. Same thing with Din. And but God, that after credit scene was so good. You cannot not be thrilled for that to
And
be a
then
storyline.
and
And it's
then
gonna be so cool. That was one of the
and it
coolest scenes of
says
the series. And it was an after
and it's
credit
called
scene getting us ready for next season.
It's called well, I mean, the crazy part about it all is we just had the investor day meeting where they announced all the upcoming
Yeah.
well, they
I
announced all
said
these
last
upcoming
episode. I said last episode that they must have pulled the plug on the Boba series and he might die.
well that's yeah,
Meanwhile,
well
we're
that's the
watching
thing.
the Boba
It
series.
was a huge rumor that we were getting a Boba series, and they also announced one of the things that they announced was the Mandalorian. Like that was, I believe, that was like part of the 10 things that they
Yeah.
announced was season 3 of the Mandalorian, and But they didn't really get. Of course, they can't get into depth about what season 3 of The Mandalorian is going to be about. So you know what I mean? Like they didn't announce a Boba series, but they pretty much did.
Right. No, and that was the climax of season 2. They couldn't spoil that in an investors meeting. But what's funny is, like I said last episode, I was like, "Oh, there's the Boba series was nipped in the bud. He might die next episode." No, like I said, we're watching the Boba series. The Mandalorian season 3 is chapter 1, I'm guessing, of Boba's story. And now I'm curious as to where they go from there. Where they go from there. You know what I mean? I don't know. Is season 4 gonna be chapter 1 Bo-Katan ruling Mandalore? You know what I mean? I have no idea. It's too much. It was
Could
too
be.
much. It was too
They
much in
could.
too little
They.
of a
I
time.
mean, I believe they said that we're getting a season 3 and a season 4. So I mean, they very well can do season 3 Boba Fett and tell a little bit of a story, because a lot of the series that we're getting from Lucasfilms are one and done seasons, 8 episodes or whatever the situation
Yeah, six
is. Like,
episodes. Yeah,
yeah, 6 episodes. That it's a mini series almost. So we
yeah,
could get Boba for a series, which would be absolutely phenomenal,
yeah.
and then the next one could be the Mandalorian. I mean, well, Bo and the Mandalorian comes back, and it could be a
Right.
time jump. It could be a
Well,
time
it could
jump in
be.
the
It could
future.
be. Next season 3 could be 8 episodes of Boba Fett story, 8 chapters, and then season 4 could even be chapter 17 of Din's story. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And this is just like a side series to The Mandalorian.
So the
You
great
don't
thing
know. It's
is,
too much. It's too much. It's impossible to even guess right now
the great
until
thing is that Disney sticks to their no spoiler rule until Monday.
I know.
With that being said, I hope we get a Luke Skywalker poster.
I know. You know what? I was thinking about that last night, and I'm dying on this hill. I'm dying on this hill. But I think that the poster is going to be unmasked Din. Still,
Yeah,
because
but
the episode ends with him in the armor, which looked insane, without the mask on. And I've been saying it, I've been tweeting it, I put it on our Instagram, I keep putting it out there, but I think that's going to be the last poster.
we could still get
It could be Luke though.
more than one poster.
Yeah, man,
You
it
know what I
could be
mean?
Luke.
Like it's the finale. We could get a few posters.
You think it's going to be a Luke poster? That would be
I
what
want
you
one.
what you what you
I
want.
think
Oh, me
it
too.
should be. Like we've gotten.
I want
Come
them
on,
all.
we got
I'll
all
take. I'll
these posters throughout the season, and I want to see the Luke poster.
Yeah, no, that
And
would be insane. But
have you?
I think it's going to be unmasked Din, potentially unmasked Din holding Grogu.
And well, so another thing, before I got into the post kind of jumped in my head, but the thing that I was actually touching on was that Disney doesn't give spoilers till Monday. We get the poster, but I
Yeah,
hope that Monday they give us some insight onto what's going on with the future of the Mandalorian.
me too. Me too. I want like I whether we're right or wrong about whatever we just said, I hope that like Favreau or Filoni do an
Yeah,
interview on Monday, which because if they could come out on Monday and be like, "Oh no, you guys misunderstood. It's
this is a
still
book.
Din and Grogu's story.
The book
That's
of Boba,
something else
the
or
book of
something."
Boba Fett is a book that's coming out in December.
Right? It's a novel. Seriously,
Because
nah, that's not what it's going to be. But it
it's
could be. It
not.
could be. It could be a movie, like an hour and a half long Disney Plus special or something like that. I don't think so.
Listen,
The rational thing is season 3.
season 3 makes the most sense. Best case scenario would be 2 shows coming in December, which does not make sense. They
Or,
wouldn't
or,
do that.
or if this is just like a Boba Fett movie on Tatooine, starring, you know what I mean, with
Yeah,
Cobb
with
Vanth
Fett.
talking.
Oh my god.
But how exciting is it? This dawned on me yesterday too. How exciting is it that Star Wars is back in like its Christmas slot? Like I love The Mandalorian in October. Like that was starting to become a staple, but we went so long without a December movie
I know, but
that
I just
like
can't believe I have to wait a full year,
I know so bad. It was so
especially
phenomenal.
with what we got. I mean, I'm probably gonna watch the Luke Skywalker scene every day for the next.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna be watching that episode on a loop nonstop.
I
And like
can't
I
wait
said,
to
I hope
watch
we,
it
I
again
hope we
today.
get some sort of confirmations and stuff. I would really love to know for a fact whether I can be like, damn, we're not getting Grogu next season or Din next season. or if like we definitely are and I misinterpreted the entire thing.
Like I want to say that the story is over with Din and Grogu, and like you know what I mean, like just like for a while, but Star Wars obviously, if you can't tell, is not going the route of ending anything.
No, 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 no way. We could watch Din get
like
shot in the head, and we could potentially think he
and
comes
come
back
back.
next season.
Yeah,
But
we're not getting the end. I don't know what we get next with Grogu. Like what do we see next? Grogu, the next time we see Grogu, he's gonna have a lightsaber in his hand. He's gonna have a
sure,
different outfit. Like next, no matter what,
the
next time we
Jedi
see
robe.
Grogu, he's not gonna look like this.
No, no way,
Like this
no way.
is the child.
Right. That's the
Grogu
child that
is
was in hiding for
yeah.
years. That was found by a bounty hunter. That's not the Grogu we're going to see next. Next
No.
Grogu we see is going to be better with the Force, more managed with the Force. Like you said, a lightsaber, a Jedi robe, potentially speaking.
Um,
I'm shocked that we didn't get words out of him.
I don't know if I missed it, but I could just be like, what one thing that I think was a missed opportunity if they didn't do it. I mean, unless I was like crying and I didn't see it, but I'm looking back at the sideshow Baby Yoda, and I'm looking at the shifter knob in his hand,
Yeah.
and
Oh
didn't
yeah.
tuck that in his pants last episode, right?
You know, Mando still has that.
Yeah,
Mando.
why didn't he give that to him?
Well, because we might, who knows, we might get more Din, less Grogu next season. So
I
then
know, but give him the
Din
shifter
could be,
knob and
you
give him a
know,
little something. And also the Mandalorian mythosaur necklace, we never saw it this season.
no,
So like where the hell did that go?
I don't know. That's a good point too.
Like why did you give that to him? If he like I was hoping like I knew that like with all the stuff him flying through on jetpacks and being held in his hands that thing if it was under his outfit would have popped out because it's huge and he's so small and it's got to be uncomfortable under there. So
Mhm.
like I was picturing like eventually it popping out or something or him pulling it out, but like we never saw that again
Yeah.
unless it was in the Razor Crest in his like
If
cubby hole.
if Din didn't currently have the dark saber, I would be predicting that their story was 100% done. For now, up until the next trilogy in 10
So
years.
the
I would be
only
guessing it was over. But the fact that he has a
yeah
dark sable, that's a story. That's the only story right now that wasn't wrapped up. Din having the dark saber and Bo wanting it.
so the Skywalker saga technically is over.
Yeah.
Um, could you imagine like I mean like a long time from now, one day we just get news that the new Grogu like they're making a new movie in the movie theater, episode like
Yeah.
10, and it's Grogu story. And he's older and he's a Jedi now and he's and remember when we saw Han come back in the Millennium Falcon with Chewie and he's like we're
Yeah. Yeah.
home
Yeah.
like you know an older Pedro Pascal and that would be insane. But I'm sure we'll get him sooner than later.
I think
We could get them in Ahsoka. Ahsoka could pop. We could
true.
very well see Ahsoka pop into the Jedi.
Jedi Temple.
Uh, Not the Jedi Temple, well, the Jedi
Yeah, the
training. You know,
Jedi school. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Luke's Jedi training school,
That's what I meant.
and and have a. I want to see nothing. I want more right now than Ahsoka and Luke
Me
face to
too.
face. And even if now you don't want to give us too much, like you just give us the back of Luke's head talking to Ahsoka, and
Yeah,
then
if
all of
they
a sudden it's
physically see each other, if it's no more or less than what we got from yesterday from Luke, if it's just like them kind of
give me like that. It's a little into the future now. Ahsoka goes to Luke, and that's why Grogu leaves because Ahsoka goes to Luke's school to take Grogu on a journey with
who
her as an
knows?
extra
That's a good
Jedi with
point.
her with Ezra, and you never know.
That's a really, really good point. That Ahsoka could get Grogu, and for all we know, Grogu is a big part of that season. His window is wide open.
I don't know. I hope that on Monday they announce Grogu the series.
All right.
Like just give me Grogu the
season three.
series
Season three is
where
just going to be Grogu playing with
I
toys.
just I didn't have enough time with the Mandalorian and Grogu together either though. Like even if you give me the Mandalorian and he's doing his own thing, or you give me Grogu and he's doing his own thing, like as good as those two things are, like I want more of Mando and Grogu bad,
Me too. Me too.
really bad.
Me too. And I hope we get it,
And now
obviously.
it makes sense that I mean, if the story really is over for a while, I mean, killing off the Razor Crest and all those things, it's really not that crazy
Oh,
because it was
if
the end of everything for Mando right now.
right. If I was handling this season as if it was Din and if I was handling this season like it was the last season of The Mandalorian, those things would be less shocking. They would still be shocking, but it would be less shocking that they were pulling out all the moves. Every single move they had was pulled this season. The Razor Crest dying, the egg getting smashed, all that
Yeah,
stuff.
he didn't need that
They
anymore.
pulled out every single stop this season, including having a huge, like, satisfying climax, that it makes sense that this was the last season. You know what I mean? And they built towards
Mhm.
other shows. They used it as a way to build towards other shows. So it makes more sense that if this was the last season of The Mandalorian, which I didn't think this would be a conversation up until, a couple hours ago, it makes a little bit more sense.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it was incredible.
Absolutely unbelievable. I cannot wait to rewatch it 100 times. All right, so I think that's what we should actually do is
Yeah,
rewatch The
let's
Mandalorian.
go watch it on a loop up until
Yeah,
we
because we're gonna
again.
rewatch it, and I will probably be able to just jump on here again and do another 30 minutes of stuff we missed from that episode or new theories. Wait until other people watch it and people start talking and
Yeah,
rumors start coming out and stuff. We're gonna be looking for that, be on top of it. So
hopefully some confirmations from the writers and Filoni, Favreau, so we could somewhat piece together all of that we had to take in yesterday.
yeah. So I mean, everybody, thank you for joining episode 3. And we're still speechless, even though we just got a good 30 minutes of talk time. But I'm still speechless, and I just need like always, for you guys to help us by joining our Discord, subscribing on YouTube, just so we can reach you guys easier. Turn on notifications. And check out our merch shop where we will be dropping a lot more merch soon. We have a
Yep,
bunch
I'm
of stuff.
wearing.
Yeah, that's the Kenobi, my favorite line from Kenobi. I was dying to put that on a shirt. So my favorite mall line. So we're gonna be pumping out some new merch now, especially after this episode. I've already got some ideas. So go check us out. Grab a coffee mug, so you could drink your coffee with us while we're doing our podcast. And yeah, until next time, Steph, I'll talk to you later.
All right,
All
see
right,
ya.
bud.